Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to the Plaid Oracle. So we're facing a little different direction today because I chose not to displace Jupiter the cat, who was in my usual chair when I came in to do the reading. It feels sometimes good to do things right in a different direction, in a different way. No, your reading is a little mysterious to me. I understand the basic outline, but I can tell that there's lots of subtext and nuance underneath. And we'll see how we go, Capricorn. We begin with this voice card. And this is not you. You are the card at the top and bottom of the deck, which are this gravity and ice card. So you are asleep in some way. Maybe you've been hitting the snooze button in some way, but you are not awake to what is happening in your immediate vicinity. This is kind of an alarm call. You know, when I was a kid, my aunt would come into my bedroom and she would say, "It's time to get up," in this really soft voice. And it was a very nice sort of alarm. This alarm is a little bit more dynamic, a little bit louder, but it's not like the klaxon of an alarm clock. It's not a blaring kind of thing. So that may be why you're having trouble hearing it. Because the first card that comes out in the piles is this Seven of Air. And what I'm seeing is like wind chimes. That they're passing, the wind is passing through this arrangement and it's making a chiming sound. The bottom of the deck has healing. The sense of something happening that is beyond your current ability to see. So whatever this is, it's like a shadows with the way, waiting to be seen. But you, Capricorn, are in this position, doing the things. So when I say that you're not awake, it doesn't mean literally, but you are doing all of the things. Planning things, doing things, engaging in daily life. And that's really where your focus is. It may even be that you have your own business, or it could even be a kind of very specific spiritual practice. But it feels more like the daily activities that you need to do. And I think that you're enjoying it. It's not that you're not enjoying what you're doing, Capricorn. But all of your focus is in this place. And so this card of you is between these wind chimes and then also this Ten of Water, this panther kind of rustling in the undergrowth. You know, you're here in this sort of tree house arrangement or, on a porch. And this panther is in the greenery. And these wind chimes are, somewhere right behind you. And then we have too this initiation. And this is partly why I was thinking that maybe you are engaging in some sort of spiritual program or idea or, way of living, lifestyle in some way. And it feels like an initiation. You feel like you're doing all the things. And you've stopped at this stream. Wash your face, quench your thirst. And what you don't realize is that where the water is coming from. And the water is coming from here, from this great mother. And that is, of course, in its way literal. It is, if you think of her as Earth, as Gaia, that is where the waters come from. But this is more of the metaphysical aspect. That something that you are engaging in is more than it seems to be. And that is what you're not seeing. That some aspect of what you're doing every day has this deeper, more metaphysical aspect, that it's bringing something to you that you are not seeing. And it may actually be, often this card comes up as, seeing the bigger picture, moving out as a positive thing. But here it's feeling like what you don't want to do. That you're seeing things too objectively, too literally, perhaps. That you're too far away from it in some way to really see what the reality of your engagement is. And then there's the Four of Water. A call to dive in, into this water that's coming from the Great Mother. And I know, Capricorn, we've talked about you really embracing the more earthy, more perhaps feminine aspects of Capricorn, of the sea goat. And maybe you've been doing that, but it's gotten subsumed somehow. Just in daily life, you've been shifted. You started in that direction, and your intuition led you to do something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a spiritual practice. I don't know if it's maybe a new friend that you've made and you don't realize what's happening. Or some hobby that you've taken up that you don't see. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think because it's different for everybody. And I can see that this is going to be one of those readings that is vague in that way. And then this next row is about this. Because we have preparation, right? The planning, the doing, all the daily stuff. We have distraction. We have observation, which might be paying attention to things that maybe don't need it. This spider does not need your attention. And then trickery, and the trickery card here is about hiding, right? Hiding resources so that other people don't find them. and maybe being involved in kind of worry, anxiety-based tasks. And then below the preparation, we also have the displacement card, which is coming through as displacement activity. Those things that we might do to avoid thinking about something or engaging with something. And below that is upheaval, which may be what we're seeing around us, that we're really concerned about it. It's caused us to, or caused you, I should say, Capricorn, to become more involved in these daily activities. But the bottom of the deck is freedom. Oh, and that was just 11-11. Oh, the counter. And I'm noticing today that this is card 19, which is the card of the sun in the tarot. Clarity, seeing clearly, seeing everything there is to see. Now, I think that you are, I mean, maybe as a result of this reading, maybe something else that's occurred already, that you are beginning, you're beginning to understand that there's more going on than you know. Because we do get the King of Swords here, and then at the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Swords. Recognition. Right? Recognition here, you recognizing that you've been seeing yourself or putting yourself into a position of being tied up, especially mentally, but maybe even physically, in the sense that you've taken a lot of things on, or you've gotten, you know, maybe you've dived deep instead of into this kind of consciousness realm. You've dived really deep into your work or into some volunteer cause or something. And below the King, we have the Magician, who here is this energy, the energy that's moving the wind chimes, that panther in the bushes. And below him, we have strength. A little bit of Leo showing up here too. Leo energy has been showing up everywhere. And here, really in this transitional phase, that you are perhaps right in the middle of a transformation of going from a very perhaps materialist-based mindset, where what you see is what you get, to a more spirit-based mindset, to this, right, to this lion, panther, great cat, shape-shifting mindset about how you view reality. And it may be that this is very difficult. It's Five of Pentacles. That it feels like abandoning something, abandoning some person. That if you decide to really go down this path and see reality in this other way, that it might put you outside the groups that you've been in up until this point. Right? This Four of Cups, this gorgeous rainbow thing is going on right behind your back. But you are kind of focused on the negative possibilities, on how maybe you will feel. maybe how other people will feel, that maybe you're worried that you're going to cause other people to feel left out in some way, that you're doing the abandoning. But I think it's too compelling. I think the panther and the wind chimes and the voice, I think it's becoming too compelling. And you're moving forward anyway, regardless of what might be left behind. You are becoming less concerned about what's going to drop off. It may have felt too as if you were going to drop a bunch of balls if you proceeded in this direction. But the call is it's too strong, Capricorn. So if maybe you've been really resisting this in some way, it may become impossible, right? Here we have this tower. Now, from an astrological perspective, if you're watching this when I post it, Uranus and Mars are about to come together to be in conjunction. It won't be a long time because Mars moves pretty quickly, but it is an intense thing. And it will be trining Capricorn. So that's an easy flow of energy. So that call to action, call to innovative, different, perhaps radical action is going to flow very easily into your space. And then Pluto is going to take a little step back in early September into Capricorn, just barely, like half a degree. And then at the end of November, he will step back out permanently until 250 years from now-ish. So some last bit of transformation for you. So the next underside is this, your pinky finger becomes a bird. Right? There's more of this shape-shifting, this allowing for something that maybe felt impossible or crazy to happen. Below that, we have the swarm of bees. And this feels like an added sound element in this. That there's this voice, there's these wind chimes, there's maybe the panther growling in the bushes or making them rustle. And then there's the sound of a swarm of bees. And it actually makes me think of something, an essay that I saw on Substack. Written by a woman. She has a farm, and for a long time she was a beekeeper. It actually was sort of how she started. But then she lost her bees over time, and she didn't quite start a new one. She was thinking about it. She had all her beekeeping equipment in the barn, and a swarm of bees just showed up and moved in. And so now she has bees again. And she wasn't even really aware of how much she'd missed them, and they just showed up. And she took the invitation. You know, she could have ignored it. She could have tried to encourage the bees to go somewhere else. But she got excited about it. She took it in. She welcomed the bees. The bottom, interestingly, now it says, your delight charms the world, but it actually looks a little bit creepy, right? There's all these faces looking down on you. And maybe in the past you've thought, you felt uncomfortable about this. Maybe you felt uncomfortable with spirits seeing you. Because it doesn't feel like actual people. But maybe it felt like actual people to you. You know, people can view us in all sorts of distorted ways. They can project stuff onto us. They can, you know, make us the scapegoat for things. They can see only what they want to see. And so it can be uncomfortable to be observed by people. And maybe that was something that you grew up with. Maybe you felt uncomfortably seen. Maybe you know, there was too much oversight. You were micromanaged. You were an only child. Perhaps there was so much attention, you couldn't get away from it. Or maybe there was, you know, some particular person who paid attention that was painful. Perhaps you were criticized. All kinds of ways that being seen can feel painful. But this is your wider self, your fellowship source. They see you truly. And they want only, right? They see you as delightful, as charming, as wonderful, as so lovely. They're so happy to be able to engage with you. And your job is to learn to trust that, to not see your own soul and your fellowship as like critical, as, you know, saying, well, you know, why aren't you looking? What's wrong with you? That is not the energy here at all. Right? This is the whispering, the call, the seduction. To see that, you know, what is behind this river is the Great Mother. So we have the coiled snake. You waiting, not sticking your head out. Then there's this self-tending fire. And what strikes me today, actually, is that these hands are reaching up, right? There's little hands in the fire. So there is an aspect of you that is reaching out. There's a longing in this fire that you've been tending in your own heart. There's a longing to know the Great Mother, to dive into these waters. And now, right, the fire will give you the ability, the impetus, that Mars energy arriving. So, advice. The devil, it's you, Capricorn, and right below it is judgment, blowing the horn. Pay attention, hear it. Because below judgment is the 10 of Cups. And then actually we have the Hierophant making an appearance here, I think, as a little bit of confirmation of the Mars-Uranus aspect in Taurus. And even just Uranus's whole passage through Taurus that will continue really until 2026. The bottom of the deck is the Knight of Cups, bringing the cup. Take the cup, Capricorn. Take the cup. See the Great Mother's presence in whatever this thing is that you've been doing, whatever feels like an initiation, whatever feels like a learning. See what is behind it. And then if you are feeling this, right, this Nine of Swords, awake in the middle of the night, that might be a possibility for some of you. I sort of feel like this advice thing is showing different ways that you might be resisting. So this first thing is that anxiety, keeping the difficult thoughts running on a repeat loop. And the High Priestess, she is coming through today as just like too cool, too disinterested, too remote. This may be this Eight of Air energy, this remoteness, this distancing from this juiciness, you know, a kind of asceticism, perhaps, seeking only, mental, spiritual, meditating 4, 5, 6 hours a day, leaving the body behind, leaving the mundane, profane things behind. So that might be a thing. Or we have the Seven of Wands, which is, actual resistance. You may be arguing about it. You may be talking yourself out of it. You may be arguing with people. You may be engaging in, feeling defensive about how things are in the world and that you need to be a fighter. You need to be a warrior to deal with what's happening. Any of that kind of must defend energy that might be happening. And so the final card is sort of the, the other half of the advice, right? The first half is to know your whole self and wake up, like hear the trumpets calling, take the cup. And then the last card is the Chariot. Go. And it's Cancer energy, that watery energy across the way. Cancer is another thing that's been coming up. Cancer and Leo. Showing up all over the place. Now it may be, Venus is very important in my natal chart. She is my sole dispositor. Everything, she is the final guide for everyone in the chart. So maybe that her messages come through, especially through my readings, because I have this sympathetic energy. So she's here talking about, this Venus, great mother. This is the Empress in this deck card. And that's actually another I'm seeing now, right? This Witch's Wisdom deck runs backwards. The World is card number 1. So this initiation is actually judgment in this deck, the hearing of the call. And the Great Mother is the Empress, who is Venus. That's her association. So there is something coming through these readings, if you're coming here, that the Venus as a guide, the personal, the beautiful, the loving, the expansive, the fecund, fertile, prolific, passionate, erotic, as a guide for living. And she's, right, she's 19. She is the Sun card's number. So clarity coming through the Empress, through your body, through where you meet the earth. And by that I mean all over, not just your feet. Your feet touch the earth, but the rest of your body is in touch with the air, right? With this wind chime energy, with the rays of the sun. So the fire energy, with the water vapor in the air, and the rain, and the sea. You touch the earth all over your body. Know that, remember that. Right, that's partly here too in this gravity card. All of the animals, all of the earth, right? Everything where you're being touched. So listen, open, right? Open yourself up and listen to the voice, to the wind chimes. Hear the message of the Great Mother. Capricorn, I think you are. I think you are already on your way, and that you just need a little bit of encouragement to, right, to get courage, right? That's when we say we encourage, we provide courage. Heart strength, resilience, conviction. To go in the direction that you want to go. To see the world in the way that you want to see it. To stretch your hands out and touch the world. I wish you all the very best, Capricorn. I hope that this was helpful, that it made sense. And that you feel good on your way. I will see you next time. So long, Capricorn.